With this level of market manipulation, people are getting frustrated. But look at what the market is showing you. From this, you will get an idea of what's happening behind the scene and why we have these kind of days. The market is volatile for a reason because the whales, the financial institutions, they are loading up. They are loading up. If you go look at the charts, it kind of gives you a clear detail about what's happening. Say historically, when you do get a divergence, a bearish divergence, where the price is going up and the RSI says, no, I'm going down on a weekly, you actually go down a lot. But here we didn't. We instead made that an reaccumulation zone and we broke higher. That's something very different in the market. That's showing you someone big is accumulating, even though some people thought this level is unbreakable and they moved out. Yes, they did move out, but someone even bigger than that came in. Look at this. You just got a hidden bullish divergence at this point. So to make that clear, the price didn't move down, but there was a lot of sellers trying to push this down. Still, the price went up. The buyers were super crazy. Now, okay, that's the past. What the hell is happening now, and how can you position yourself better in this market when XRP is doing something like this? Just exactly this. What should you do? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, you are literally watching a lot of this crypto assets moving higher. We have the CA, we had that call on, and we are watching that evolving. Now, one of the things you need to understand here is like that's a 80% for the month growth. Then Doge, it's already 50, close to 45% growth now. But what's the upside? This is something I want to share with you guys. Think about this for a second, guys. Think about this. I posted this in August 19. So what was the price back then? You had it cheaper. When the price was breaking through that level, a lot of people were going negative for sure, calling out for what? Capitulation phase. And I was like, okay, guys, look at this. Historically, we have done this several times. And the upside after has to be enormous based on the history, right? This is just exactly what I actually told you. And I'm like, okay, if history is true, that's something big. Now we're starting to see that instead of going down like the majority were saying for the capitulation phase, we are up. And the price is now up 45% for a month. That is something different. Understand this. Now, when does these kind of thing happen? This is a meme coin, agreed. And if a meme coin is trying to show you it is repeating its price history, then what would something like XRP do with that amount of utility? And whatever we are watching. Now, yes, we do understand the fact that, okay, you have the meme coins, you have the AI, you have the metaverse, all of them are going up. Say, while we call this out as an opportunity, now we are kind of 100% plus right now in a month. But understand this. The price action shows you a narrative. RSI was showing, I'm breaking higher. I don't care about what others say. I'm breaking higher. Great. We followed it through as we were going up, shaking people out. We're like, watch this. And where are we? At the midsection now. You still have some upside for sure, but the market is showing you something. If that's all true, then when you look at XRP, what the market says to you should also be true. It shouldn't be different, right? Great. Now, take a look at what the price action is showing you. It had a long-term trend line. We broke below that for a moment. It felt like we are going to capitulate. But that was it. You just bounced back higher. You came back up. You did a retest for sure. So right now, what are we doing? We have this break to the downside. We made a double bottom and we bounced back in. We made a double bottom. We bounced back in. We broke back in. And what's happening? Initially, you had a retest and a bounce. still you came back down to retest that level again. Still, you're doing that retest again. So if history is repeating itself, there will be a lot to take in. So it's our job to try and see what the market is showing you. So if that's true, and historically when we do that kind of things, we do see volatility. You shouldn't be worried about that. A drop like this can actually kick out a lot of people who are highly levered. And that's one of the reasons why I say don't go that levered. Especially in an asset like this, you may drop 30%, you may drop 40%. Now that's where you need to keep your eyes focused on, because if your macro trend line looks like this, then immediately you'll say, okay, the first primary trend line is being broken. Now think about what we have seen historically. This is the macro trend line. This is the new trend line which was forming with the higher level of momentum. But you came back down, you kind of capitulated and wicked through that. Now, yes, we do have a reasoning for that, which was the SEC back then. Now we are here. So what can you actually watch? We're doing this retest. How low should we go? The first primary resistance, which you and me who are in this asset, trying to buy more assets, stabilizing this asset in your portfolio should look for is this. Okay, you had a range which was a support, which turned into a resistance. So when you broke to the upside, you came back below that, you went back up. Great. Now, what are you doing? You had a level which was a support, which then turned into a resistance. Now you broke that to the upside, you came back down, you're going back up. Great. So while you go back up, yeah, you do have these kind of things. On a weekly, it wouldn't actually look like a lot of noise is there. But when you slowly zoom in, say a 3-day chart, you see, okay, there was a structure. The price was showing you something like this. Great. Now you go on a daily, you want to zoom in. You want to see how human beings in this asset reacted with the bots on the other end. The amount of volatility which we went through. So then you break down and you're like, whoa, that's a hell lot of long wicks. Look at this, guys. Before the price took off, if you notice the amount of long wicks which we had, all these 4 candles had long wicks. Some of them were panics. Some of them were really bad. Dojis, indecision, or retest. Then came an engulfing candle. So the amount of time it spent inside this range was not easy to hold on. Now, okay, let's remove all this and give you this idea. This is what the price actually did. It went up into this range, consolidated here, and then broke higher. Fine. Let's take that into where we are right now. That, I think, is important. You did this initial move up. Great. Perfect. Now, what are we doing? We're doing something like this. So there is a lot of different stuff happening in the market, suggesting maybe you're just repeating the history. Maybe a lot of people are just overreacting. Then you're like, okay, I want to fine tune. Not the weekly. I understand that now. Not the daily. I want to zoom in. You go on a daily and the RSI says, yeah, we had all this volatility for sure. But right now, the price action is getting very close to a support range, very close. Now, yes, it's true, a line usually doesn't work. You may literally have to go and take a zone, a range, which works usually with the standard deviation to the upside and to the downside. If you know that, you get perfection in the market. At least that's what I've noticed over the years. So that shows you somewhere around that range, you will most likely see this bouncing back up. Now you zoom out, you go back to that range when the price action was doing all these crazy things and then moving back up. So we had some range where the price used to bounce off. We had this range again and again each time when you were moving up. As long as the price was respecting this in RSI trend line, the price was still bouncing up. The time where you reversed, this is important. The time where you reversed, the price action showed you something, a divergence. Great. We don't have anything like that here. We should be watching for something like this. The price slowly goes up. Maybe you'll go down and then it will make something like this negative and the price is still going up. Right? When the price is still going up. Now, this is RSI, not the price in 120 I'm showing you. So don't go euphoric, right? Now, that means you are watching for something happening in the market. You need that amount of patience which the market needs. Not what I have, not what I can do, but what the market actually needs from me. There is no other way you can persist in the market. You need the amount of patience with the market actually needs. So the literal fact here is, yeah, short term, we understand all this. Macro on a Bitcoin gives you the idea that it is moving to the upside. Remove the noise from the market. What do you actually see here? This is something similar. You're just looking for last 1 year. Or you want to actually look at this, it's fine. You went up, the trend line was there. You consolidated, boom, 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 boom. It became a distribution phase. You broke lower, you came back down. Now this became an accumulation range. You broke back higher. Then you got a reaccumulation zone, reiterating or validating the fact that you have a long way to the upside. The downside was limited here. Why? Because the reaccumulation was really small. People capitulated. A lot of people just jumped out. You didn't actually get a lot of sellers accumulating position here. Instead, this time when we are preparing to go up in this range, we just saw a ton of people during a long time accumulating their longs. That's why this upside is going to have higher momentum, but with a ton of manipulation. Meaning a lot of people trying to make money, institutions will say, no, we'll make you just a liquidity, the dump money, because they'll try as much as possible to create your emotions to panic, to create a situation where you will take the wrong decision. That's the only way they make more money. That's the only way they open up supply, which they can buy in at lower price points. This is easier thing in the market. We understand all this is happening in front of us. Whatever we are watching on the fundamental side, things are going very fast. The financial system we are living in is changing in front of us. We understand that. And we do have issues like this for sure. There are delays. There are regulators who kind of have some issues, right? They need someone to tighten it. But that's what it is. And then you look at the actual stuff and you're like, okay, that is like, okay, they're cutting the overhead. It's fine for the future. But what does that show you? It's not an expansion cycle for sure. That's without a doubt. But you're watching the financial structure change, the financial system going into something new. That's where the non-bank financial institutions, the fintechs, are now taking over. That is one of the primary reasons I say utility and the future for this asset, XRP. I personally consider that as a huge momentum. And I would say we're still here. We haven't actually done anything big for sure. We're still here in this range. Topping off is not here. It's after a run-up. This run-up was without exchanges, without clarity. Whereas this was with all the exchanges, with all the clarity you needed. So think about what you're going to see next time. Is it actually going to be something like this? Or is it going to be something like this? So whatever your opinion is, let me know that in the comment section. And I'm really thankful for a lot of you guys who are smashing that like button for me. If you haven't done that here in this video yet, I would request you to do that for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.